This Jonathan Taylor situation, every day we kind of learn a new piece to the puzzle. For instance, the Indianapolis Colts said, all right, you're allowed to find a trade. Then the Indianapolis Colts came out and said, you have until Tuesday to find said trade. We're not just going to be waiting around. Adam Schefter said the Colts have given Jonathan Taylor until Tuesday to find a suitable trade after authorizing the star running back that he can go find a trade partner. Now, this is all coming from Stephen Holder, who now works for ESPN, formerly of the Indy Star, formerly of doing news in Miami, but he's been around Indianapolis a long time, pretty plugged in, knows a lot of people. He also expanded upon Jonathan Taylor's thoughts and intentions in an article that he wrote on ESPN.com this morning, where he has 3 different quote tweets where he's responding to people. One of the tweets says, in your opinion, hasn't this been an all-time boneheaded move on Taylor's camp's side? Request a massive deal in a down running back market while coming off an injury. Not getting that deal and then claiming you're still injured while also requesting a trade. What kind of logic is that? Shake my head. Stephen Holder says, well, it's not my place to judge other people's actions. All I can do is tell you what the intent is. Taylor is unconvinced the Colts will ever do a long-term extension, so he is playing the only card he can. Whether we agree or disagree is immaterial. Those are the facts. Stephen Holder said, hey, Michael Blair, this is what we're talking about. Then he would go on. Chef Boyarbis?
Yeah, Boyarbees?
Yeah, you got it.
Boyardee.
Chef Boyarbis.
Yeah.
There it is. Chef Boyardee. Get it, because it's Chef Boyard. We apologize, Chef. It appears to be Jake is your actual name. The issue most people are having in this entire thing is the agent. Before he switched, he was talking about his love for the organization, how he wants to retire in Indy, switches agents, becomes a diva. No player is going to get max money coming off a bad season with injury. Stephen Holder says Jonathan Taylor is extremely intelligent and is his own man.
Ooh.
You know what he said, Tom?
Oh, yeah.
Fierce.
This perspective ignores a basic reality. Jonathan Taylor considered lots of agents and purposefully chose his current representative, Chef Jake Boyardee. Which I guess is something that Stephen Holder thought that maybe wasn't being chatted about enough. And then he said, not interested in paying him at all, says Travis, or paying him at $16 million he's asking for. Big difference. What do they actually want? And then Jim Irsay told Stephen Holder personally on the record that they did not even make a contract offer to Taylor. It was never a negotiation because there was never an offer, just stating a fact. Okay. So what I just learned there, and a lot, and I apologize for kind of running through it all, Stephen Holder now at ESPN, he is a guy who knows a lot of people in Indy, so I would assume he's plugged in and everything like that. They didn't make an offer, so there's never a negotiation?
No.
Right? So is that, if there was never an offer, there was never a negotiation, how do we get to this point where we got public tweets kind of attacking each other, where everybody hates each other? There's one question. Follow-up, Jonathan Taylor chose this guy to be bad cop, is what I think Stephen Holder is saying. He said, listen, I've been, the mayor around here. I didn't get paid. Running backs are getting fucked. I need somebody that's going to go be bad cop. That's why he hired his old buddy. And then also, follow-up here is like what those guys are tweeting and Stephen Holder's answering to, the chef and the others, like Colts fans are very okay with Jonathan Taylor not being an Indianapolis Colt. Not everybody. Obviously, there's a lot of Colts fans that are going to be very bummed about this, but we are very much at a position, and I'm me included, so I apologize, I don't speak for everybody, but a majority of people, if you don't want to be here, don't be here, is kind of how this is going. Florio pontificated that the Tuesday deadline might be because the Colts are just going to take the best offer and move on. What do you think? And I apologize for having to do all that, but this is the biggest story in the NFL right now. One of the best players in the NFL 2 years ago, and he's upset and disgruntled. How's it pan out, AJ Hawk?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like he's gone. I don't see any path where he's back on the Indianapolis Colts right now. It just doesn't – it feels like it's too far gone. We always say, yeah, money fixes everything. Well, I don't think the money's coming from Indianapolis, and that's probably what started all this. If he expected them, hey, let's at least talk, let's negotiate something, he may have thrown some ideas out there to his agent, and then they come back with nothing. Like, no, you got to go play under your contract. And I would assume if that's the case, that's a big part of this.
That would imply a negotiation, though. Like a negotiation.
Yeah, I mean – do they think? Who knows? Until we hear Jonathan Taylor's his side of the story and what's going on, I guess we don't know. We only hear stuff that gets leaked from the Colts side, I guess, and from people like Stephen Holder.
Well, and I think Stephen Holder's probably hearing from Jonathan Taylor's side as well.
Yeah.
I would think that he's going to be able to be plugged in on both sides. So congrats to Stephen Holder for being able to get to that point in his career here in Indianapolis. But and he's at ESPN. That's good. Hey, Stephen Holder. I remember his first year in Indianapolis. Fresh out of the news. He was a news guy in Miami, comes into Indianapolis. He said some things like almost got boycotted from the locker room about Chuck. But I think he was pretty accurate with them about what his sources were saying, just the way, like, Stephen Holder has been,
a guy.
He's been a guy here in Indy for a long time. Now he's got the news on Jonathan Taylor that everybody on earth is trying to get right now. He would be the right guy to get into it. But, like, the whole thought that maybe there wasn't even a negotiation is wild to me, because then how were you so pissed off? Like, if there,
You would understand the trade request then, right? If you're thinking, all right, I thought we were going to talk at least or something, and then...
Yeah, because the trade request would be a part of the negotiation.
Yes, like if he...
That would be a move.
Yeah, it's all part of it. Yeah, that's a move. Of course it's a move. Everything you say publicly is a move, too. Like, that's what agents will say. Like, you don't need to say, hey, I'm holding out right now, but we're going to figure this thing out real soon. I can't wait to get back in the field and get with my teammates.
Go ahead, Pac. What do you think about it all?
I think it was conversation. The number wasn't the number that he think it should be, and it's got a little sloppy. And Jim is gonna do shit his way, just same way Jerry Jones gonna do shit his way. And once it get out of, I think, a tang of respect, things go sour. I don't think this could be patched up.
I don't think so either. It's weird too, because like most things are, to your point, AJ, just give them a deal, money, whatever the reality of the money is, and it'll be all good. It's like, I don't think it's like that. And there's another thing I was talking to my wife about last night about it all, because my wife grew up here in Indiana, big Colts fan. And the team that introduced Indiana to the Colts, because Indiana was a racing city, Indianapolis was a racing city and a Pacers city. The Colts stunk long time. Colts are bad.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah, bingo. Reggie Miller. I mean, you talk about old cuz Jermaine O'Neal had a club here for a while.
Deadlift Shrimp.
Artest,
Rick
Stack,
Smith.
Steve Jack. I mean, this was, there's good Pacers history, basketball history here. I think the Basketball Hall of Fame's here. So, like, this was not a football city until Peyton Manning gets there, and then that team that gets built around, and then become a very passionate fan base because, we're fucking good, Like, okay, we are winning. So this fan base, I don't want to say, like, they're used to winning, but, like, yeah, we're used to winning here. So for the last 3 years to be the clown car that it has seemingly been, and, like, Peyton never did this.
No.
This is what Colts fans are like, so your team stinks. This team is the worst that it's been in a long time. You guys are an embarrassment to our city. Peyton never had this situation. Now, he ended up getting cut, which certainly introduced us to the harsh reality of what the NFL could be.
The other side.
But Marvin Harrison, this never really seemingly happened to the extent in which this is happening. Dallas Clark, this never happened the way that it did. Jeff Saturday, Gary Brackett, Ryan Deem, Charlie Johnson, the people that introduced football to the Indianapolis fans.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like there wasn't people that knew, but you get it. They all have this. This is what football is. This is what success is. This is what we need. And if you don't want to be here, we don't fucking want you to be here. That's how Colts fans feel. And so I think Jim Irsay maybe got a little sense of that. Of like, yeah, brother, like, you don't deserve to be a Colt if this is how you want to act while our team is our worst. So that goes back to the point where I don't know if money can cure that. I don't know if money can cure people being like, this guy's, not only was he a part of the downfall of our entire organization, but now he's like, bad-mouthing the organization and saying he wants out. It's like, it's ugly. And this was not who Jonathan Taylor was at all. But if you go back to what Stephen Holder said, he knew he wasn't like this.
Yeah.
And then he was like, give me a bad guy. I need it to happen. I just think it was a bad move to the first person that tweeted in the calendar year in which he did it, when he did it, this particular year coming off, I just think it was a bad business move. I think he's still a great football player. I think if he was to go to another team, he's going to do great. I hope he gets paid. But the way it's been managed here in Indy, it seems like it was a sabotage mission from the beginning, not to be an Indianapolis Colt anymore. And I think Colts fans feel that way.
It's almost as if the running backs, because they had that little powwow, it's not as if this would be the situation, but it's almost like, hey, Jonathan, you're the next guy up. You're getting paid $4 million. If you think you should get more money, it's not just you're doing this for. Like, hey, half of us, 5 of us, are going to be free agents next year. And it's kind of, someone's got to not, fall on the sword. But if there was ever a time to do it and be like kind of a trailblazer for the running backs and getting better deals, would they not ask maybe Jonathan?
And I think Colts fans would be very appreciative that he would remain loyal to his running back brother and around the NFL as opposed to the Indianapolis fucking Colts.
Yeah.
Which, that would be, which is a whole nother thing to just even pile on to the like, what the hell are we doing here? Yep. And if there was never a money offer made, I guess that kind of can rule off the table of them saying, and
what if he never wanted to be back? What if, I know he made all those comments in the spring, I signed my contract, I'll play it out. What if something happened, whatever the offense is, whatever it might be? He's like, I don't want to play here anymore. Get me out.
And that's why he might not be loyal to the Colts. It's like, hey, I've had 3 years and I've had 3 different quarterbacks, and you paid all the old linemen that blocked for me, and they didn't block very well. So, yeah, I don't have any loyalty to the Colts. I have more loyalty to the running back.
Then in
situation.
April, he shouldn't have done what he did. Like, if he wanted the move to go the way it is.
Yes.
Now, granted, he goes to a big market, they win, he does well. This will all
Be
just
forgotten.
be completely forgotten about. Yeah. But in the moment, it's loud around the NFL. Allegedly, 6 teams have questioned or inquired about it. But like in the modern NFL, we talk to GMs. Howie, allegedly Philadelphia, always in on everything.
Yep.
Brandon Beane of the Buffalo Bills, if he hears anything, he wants to know if there's anything going on. What's the level of commitment about the inquiries? And then there's 2 people that have allegedly made offers, the Dolphins being one of them.
Yes.
Like, what was their offer? Because we saw Isaiah Simmons today go for a bag of balls.
Man.
So, like, like, what is the level of interest?
They're trying to gauge. Don't you think each team is probably trying to gauge, hey, what are teams throwing out there for possible offers? What are you offering up to try to get this guy on your team? And if you can find some good value, why wouldn't they try to reach out and pick him up?
Yeah, and are they going to pay him a deal? Or are they going to pay him what he's worth right now? Like, are people reaching out? Like, is Jonathan Taylor available for $4 million? Like,
Yeah.
Is this a personal thing or is this like a business thing? Like, no, you're probably going to have to pay him. And then Jonathan Taylor's rep is like, yeah, you're going to have to pay me. And they're like, okay, well, let us know if that changes. Like, are people doing that? Or how is it? Because Jonathan Taylor at $4 million, I think everybody
It's a deal.
everybody is going to be in on that, and that would make sense, And that seemingly is what Rapp and Shefty are saying. But, like, is that something he's going to accept because he doesn't want a new deal? It doesn't matter, I guess not, because the Colts can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like, if there was no negotiation, like everything changed. Like they may have came with a number and then the Colts, maybe would have been like more pliable on what they were going to do. But then his agent publicly dissed and kind of embarrassed Irsay on Twitter. And I feel like after that, like either they were probably super cold toward him and like the kind of whole attitude and environment changed. And then I think from that point on, it was kind of just like, all right, fuck this guy. Like we tried to play nice. We tried to do right by him, for what we thought was fair. And like, again, we can say what we want. Like, Irsay, like these guys have egos. There's a reason you're a billionaire. When you fucking publicly try to embarrass a guy and like shit on him and his reputation and everything, like that's never going to end well, ever.
Yeah, but what we hope happens is this ends well for everybody.